Remember that show?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still on or not. Oh, anyway, hey guys, if you're joining us, we are getting ready to stream out our live feed. You will actively see a little chat box to the right. Hold on a sec. And
Whoa.
yeah, there we go. We're just getting all the kinks worked out. We are waiting on two guests that will probably come in. Daniel, you got that straightened out?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so we're waiting on some guests to come in here. And we are going to be talking about all kinds of things tonight. We should be also having Moneybags73 coming in a little while. And my other featured panelist is Meegs B, but she has not arrived yet, so you guys will have to be a little patient that they will be a little late jumping in here. Before we start, let me introduce you to the one guest who's actually on time. Daniel, how do you say your last name right?
Bumpaous.
Daniel runs a small YouTube channel right now where he was doing a variety channel like I was, started doing some Mandela stories, and his channel has blown up with those Mandela stories. Daniel, also, if later on you feel free, you can drop a link into the chat with your channel, and people can go subscribe over there. Daniel, tell me about your channel more. Give me an idea how this started, and we'll go from there.
Well, mainly my channel, I actually have like 3, but one I can't get into. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I did videos for work, like training videos and stuff like that. And that's how I started my channel. And I had a couple, work videos and stuff up there, but after I remember a couple of years ago hearing about the whole Berenstein Bears thing, and I didn't really, I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy, but I didn't really think about it too much. And then what really struck me was like the whole JFK thing, the 4 people or 6 people instead of 4. That's what kind of struck me and was like, whoa, that's weird. I know there's 4. And I asked everybody, that I knew, and they're like, yeah, there's 4. And I'm like, no, not now. But
Also talked about that in a video of yours, probably one of the videos you had the most hits on is the JFK one, right?
yeah, well, the Oswald one, yeah. Because after I saw that, I figured, well, if JFK's has changed, has Oswald's too? So, and it appears to have. And
Well,
yeah,
tell people, give them a little brief if they haven't watched the video. What changed in it?
well, the first video that I found, what struck me was I always thought that Oswald was shot on the second day after JFK, or I mean the very next day, and then, but apparently now he's been shot 2 days later, and I remember, the iconic image. It was on live TV when he was shot, and he was coming down the hallway with a white shirt on, and it seemed to me like what I remember is the cameraman was almost knocked over by Ruby, and he was right there, and he shot him in the white shirt, and now it's different, apparently.
Yeah, I remember the there's that famous picture of him getting shot with a guy making the face while they're getting shot, and there seems to be a lot of Kennedy stuff going on. People are talking about. I don't know why JFK is a big one, but it is kind of a big one for, I would say, because people have seen that shooting like 100 times, and then all of a sudden it looks different. It's one of those that helped bring a lot of people into believing about the Mandela effect.
Yes, he is.
Even people I would never suspect are like, yeah, I didn't believe it until I watched the JFK thing. And now, if you guys are new and don't know what we're talking about, the JFK film has changed that person limo, where before it was just like a 4-seater. And there's some old black and white videos going around of the 4-seater one, right? I thought
Well,
someone had a residual video of that.
Well, there is
But
a video of them doing a reenactment in a four-seater car.
oh, okay, is that what it is? All right.
Hmm.
Hadn't really watched it, but it was it's one of those that is enough to kind of get the fence sitters to come our way a little bit.
Yeah, and
So
well, and then there's like a museum that's got his car on display, and it's a four-seater car as well. So,
yeah,
I mean, you'd think the museum would get it right, you know.
and
So,
that was a big one too. Is I remember there's been a couple videos about that. Um, so that's kind of your more popular video. As far as
the Mandela Effect
asking,
goes. Yeah.
yeah, as a Mandela Effect, do you have any others planned? Your what's your next thing you're going to talk about for people listening?
Well, I'm not sure yet. Actually, I've been kind of like I'm a big history fan. That's one of my favorite subjects. Like I fall asleep every night watching, documentaries and everything from about everything that I can find, really. So I don't know. I kind of wanted to look into. I did a video about a new film that I'd never seen before. It's an opposite angle of the JFK assassination, and it seems to actually show the guy on the grassy knoll. His name was David Ferry, this guy, and it shows him with a rifle sitting there, and I've never seen anything like that before. So I thought that was strange. And I did a
Yeah,
video about that, but
well, good. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, let me tell you how this chat room works here is we will have some featured panelists, usually people with other YouTube channels or blogs. I'm going to talk with Daniel for a little bit. I've got two more people that are late that I'm waiting on. As they come in, I will talk with them. And then after that, I'm going to open it up. And if you have something to say, you can actually jump on. If you have video and you want to come on, you're welcome to come on. No like creepy pictures to hide behind. You actually have to be a real person to talk to me. And then also please put on some headsets before you jump in, because otherwise you'll hear all the feedback. But so I'm going to allow you guys, if somebody wants to in the chat room in a little while, just say, hey, I'd like to say my piece. You can come on. Please remember, though, this channel is focused on positive things. So we are trying to keep things very positive. I don't really want to scare the crud out of people, talking about whatever you believe it is, like demons or CERN or, the Bilderbergers or whatever your theory is. Not that it's not right, but if we just focus on negative things, it kind of drags everybody to a negative place. It's okay to acknowledge that stuff, but if that's all we do is obsess and then scare the crud out of each other and then not come up with anything after that, it's kind of a negative place to live in. So, Daniel, what's the most positive thing that's happened to you since this all went down?
well, actually, I was thinking about that earlier, and I probably should have written it down. But um, maybe it's like after you find a Mandela effect that is like in your heart that it was different than it is now, and there's a lot of those. It seems like there's getting more and more and more, but I guess it kind of throws you into shock a little bit. You're like, what in the world's going on? Am I going crazy? And all that stuff. And I think the best thing I learned was not to go too far down the rabbit hole, because you probably will go crazy.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of a natural reaction, I think, that
mhm.
when you find out about this stuff, it it launches you down a lot of other conspiracies, or a lot of conspiracy people, who already don't trust anything that's being touted by the lamestream media. They are ready to accept something like this anyway. So what happens is you get these people that just add it to one other thing, and they obsess and dig and watch videos and depress themselves and get scared to death. And you could do that with any conspiracy stuff. I mean, you get far enough into the Bilderbergers or the reptile aliens or whatever your flavor, you can really, if all you do is focus on this powerless, helpless thing, then it's no good, man. It paralyzes you. It keeps you in a state of fear. I think what I'm going to really try to do is say, Daniel, you don't have any sort of positive as far as have you had any sort of I don't know if you're spiritual or not spiritual awakening with this? Do you feel more confident, or are you still kind of in that shock phase?
Well, actually, I started watching a couple of your videos, and that kind of helped me out a little bit. But
Thanks.
I've taken it as it's probably a positive thing that this is happening. There's all the theories, but whatever it is, there's a change, and in the world right now, I think a lot of people just kind of have like an unexplained anxiety. you know, at least the people I've talked to. But it's really helped me to. I don't, it's kind of liberating in the fact that you don't know everything. I don't know how to explain it really well, but it's kind of helped me apply a different thinking process to my life currently. So, and that's been a good thing. I'm
All
not
right.
sure how to explain that.
Well, no, I know with myself, it's been very enlightening. Like to me,
Yeah.
it's been. At first, I was like a lot of people, where I was like, hey, "Is this really happening?" And I need more examples, and I need more proof, and I need more examples. And eventually, you just overwhelm the logical brain until it shuts up. That okay,
Yep.
this is really happening. And then you meet some other people on the internet that also tell you, "Hey, this is happening to me too. You're not crazy, or we're both crazy." And then you meet 50 people and 100 people, and then like look at some of my comments. There are 600-700 comments that are all positive, saying yes, this is happening. So those sort of things really help a lot. I think having a community really helps a lot. And for me, it's been a very uplifting experience once I got through that first bit of shock. So I know there's some people coming on that are brand new to it, and they just kind of like stumbled on it this week or something, or they just stumbled on my channel. And if you're in one of those phases where everything's still really negative and scary, that you think this is the end of everything and there's nothing good after, I'm hopefully I can help you through that, because I'm in the same boat. I went through the exact same thing. I understand what you're going through.
Yeah. Well, I think I think it's probably a good thing that this is happening. I don't think it's the apocalypse as in the biblical brimstone and fire kind of thing. I think it's more of a just people are waking up, kind of seeing what's going on. You know, for example, today the British Prime Minister did a speech and she talked about it was it was actually pretty good, and there was a section where she says the
Hello.
world is changing, and it was so that's a feeling that I think a lot of people are feeling, that stuff is changing for some reason.
I feel the same thing. I think there's definitely something in the air. And look who finally joined us. Meegs is coming
Hey.
in.
What's
Hey
up,
there.
guys?
All right, so
Hi.
Meegs, there
Hey,
is
what's up?
also a live chat going on. If you want to see the live chat, I'm in the Google Hangouts here. Actually, I sent you an email that'll take you to it. If you open your email and take a look, you can also see all the questions people are asking. You won't see it in the Hangout that we're in. You'll see it at the YouTube channel. So anyway, my guest finally is Meegs. If you guys don't know Meegs
Hello.
B, she has a channel on YouTube that's actually picking up steam. It looks like you're increasing your subscribers pretty good. And
Yeah. Okay, I got a new microphone too, so I'm not like making people really angry with my like fluctuating timbers of my voice. But whoa, this is so surreal. Whoa, I just got off my bike from biking around in St. Louis, like from work. So I was hurriedly trying to get here, and so I was like, give me a moment to acclimate to how strange and cool this is.
well, I know it's the first time if you've ever done it. It's a little weird to see what goes on here. But the thing is, with Meek's channel, Meeks, you have a different perspective. Were you originally a Mandela channel, or were you another channel that started
No.
picking up Mandela stories? Tell us a little about your channel and explain what you do to the audience, please.
Yeah. So, well, I originally started like really recently. I think it was probably a month ago, because I was just starting to research Pizzagate, and I made a video about that, sort of like an emotional response to what I was finding out about that whole conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's real. And actually, my coworker tonight just told me that Trump admitted that there's that kind of stuff going on in the government right now. Like there's child pornography being found and stuff. So I was very, very passionate about speaking out about Pizzagate, and still am, because it's still going on. But I had been researching lots of, well, you know, I'll say I fell down the rabbit hole like 6 months ago. So I was researching a lot that sort of led me up to that. And when I saw that that was happening, I was just like, oh my gosh, I got to start making videos. Like you know, just for the sake of another person getting their voice out about this stuff. It's just like, I don't know if you guys know anything about Pizzagate or whatever. Maybe I'll cut that rambling short.
Yeah, I mean, unless it has to do a lot with the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Really...
I don't want to like get on my soapbox about Pizzagate, but that's originally how I started making videos. And then because I had known about the Mandela Effect before, and you know, that was something also I was passionate about speaking out about. I just started, you know, like I made a segue into talking about the Mandela Effect too. And now that's kind of what I'm mostly doing. But I'll throw in little bits of conspiracy stuff here and there, because it all kind of goes together, you know? It's all kind of connected, in my humble opinion.
Well, Meeks, we're also talking about what's going on with, as far as what happened with your channel when you started making the Mandela videos. You got a bump, I got a bump. Oh, by the way, this is our other guest. You guys know each other?
I think I've seen your video, one of them.
Daniel,
yeah, you look familiar.
And we all kind of got a bump talking about this, but what we're trying to focus on is what's going on with positive stuff.
Yes. Yes, I do very much tend to be like doom and gloom, even though I think I have, you know, mostly a sunny personality. But yeah, I'm like the doom and gloom person, unfortunately. But I will try to be as positive as I can for you guys tonight.
That's a requirement on here.
Okay, for sure. Maybe 1% doom and gloom. But yeah.
Yeah, after I made that Oswald video, I could not wait for somebody to comment on it and tell me I wasn't crazy. Because I was
my goodness.
Whew, okay, thank God. And most of the comments have been positive, so that's good too.
Oh, well, yeah, that's good to hear. At least somebody has mostly positive comments. There's a lot of like, I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to like, sometimes I sit and think like the people that are really mean, like, are they actually being paid? Like, do they sit in a government room somewhere? Are they being paid to like steer people away from people who are talking about the Mandela Effect? I'm like, what's your salary, man? Like, why are you so interested in hating? Oh, well, I just try not to respond to people like that.
Some of them put a lot of time and effort into that.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think that's kind of what you know, there are always those theories that, and I don't disagree with it, because I don't trust anything the government does or says. It's, you know, I'm sure that there are people there to discredit, you know, sure, but again, it's all what you want to manifest. If you want to focus on that, bad things, that's all we're going to find are people like that. So
yeah,
you create your own reality, right?
Yeah, I just don't know though, because it seems to me like by now the Mandela Effect is such a phenomenon that's so like amazing and weird and bizarre. It's such a trip to get into that the fact that they're not talking about it on the news and stuff, like the fact that nobody is speaking out about this on TV or anything, I mean, barely being discussed in podcasts. I mean, you know, that makes me think like, okay, well, why not? Why is nobody like bringing this up in the media? I'm very distrustful. So, you know, and the fact that there's so many people trying to steer people away, you know, like trolls and stuff, I'm just like, oh man, this is fishy. A little too fishy.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that's about, because I think that's with anything. There's always going to be that negative, and I think that there's some people that just enjoy being trolls that don't have anything to do except it makes them feel better to rip everybody else down. There's just that element.
Yeah.
I mean, there's.
Well,
I'm
some
sure
people,
you.
Some people try so hard at it. Like, I hope they're getting paid. You know what I mean? Like, it seems to be a full-time job for some people.
Yeah. Let's talk about some other stuff, though. Before we dive in here, some people asked me some questions to ask, and I want to know what you guys' opinion is. The first one: do you feel the sky has changed?
Ooh, yes. Yeah, oh, yes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna like jump in and like talk over everyone. Please, I'm gonna settle down. You can go first. What's your name, by the way? I totally didn't.
Daniel.
Daniel. Okay, awesome.
You know, I would think that I would notice that because I work outside a lot, but I mean, unless it's something that's happened recently, you know, I haven't really noticed, other than we've got a lot more snow than usual.
I'm trying to find a picture that I took when I was biking the other day of how weird the sky was. It was so weird. I just had to stop and take a picture of it. Oh, well, here's a video. I can't see it probably. I don't know if you can see that, but it was just such a weird pattern. It looked like some kid was finger painting in the sky. And what I've noticed, I've seen some videos on YouTube about like cloud glitches. Like it looks like repeat, like copy paste jobs in the clouds. And you know, I don't know if you could just search like cloud glitches or whatever and find them, but there's some extremely strange stuff going on in the sky these days.
Well, I also feel like, you know, I just made a video this week about how we kept seeing this really bright star. We thought it was a star, and then when I looked it up, it was Venus.
I saw that.
And a lot of people, especially Kate, keeps saying that there's no stars anymore. Like she'll look out and she does barely sees any stars. And I don't know if that's just like pollution or we're, you know, in light pollution or the mountains or whatever, but is that kind of, what do you guys think in the chat room? Are you seeing stars? Are they still there? Or has it feel like they've just kind of lost their brightness?
That's a good question. Well, I'll say, go ahead, David.
I did notice that Venus thing. I looked out my window one night and I was like, whoa, yeah. I was like, is that a UFO or what? You know, I don't remember something that bright being there, but yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, I've been noticing how bright that is too. And I just, you know how the Mandela Effect like the things that change become just the new normal? I guess, you know, it's like sort of like the new normal for the star. I thought it was the North Star or whatever. I was like, that's an incredibly bright star, brighter than usual. But, you know, it's just like one of those things. Unless you're really thinking about it, it doesn't really pay you. So that's when I saw your video, I was like, yeah, that is too bright.
Well, one of the big theories is that, you know, we actually moved to a different place in the galaxy. That some people are saying the constellations are different, that Orion looks different, and that they don't see stars anymore, and the planets are a little different, and the sun's no longer yellow, it's white. There's all this idea that somehow we flipped to an alternate Earth somewhere out of the Sagittarius arm and into the Orion arm. Now, just that's kind of a tough one for some people to take, to think we moved 80,000 light years. But I'm curious to know what you guys think about all that.
Daniel, I'll let you take that one.
You know, I like watching documentaries about space and planets and all that, but I'm not very familiar myself with exactly where all the constellations are and everything. That's not something I've really studied a lot. So if something, small did change, I probably wouldn't notice it.
Well, for you guys, like it's going crazy in the chat right now, watching that they think that it is definitely changed. A lot of people are saying that the Venus basically almost looks like a darn star now in the sky. It's so bright. Now, I've seen Venus bright before, but I've never seen it like this. I mean, there's been times where it's definitely been bright, but it seems to be very different. Some people also think it's a ninth planet. That they're just being lied to, that it's actually not Venus. It's another planet out there. I don't know anything about really that, but if people want to talk about it, go ahead.
Well, I'm probably not entirely the best person to ask about that because I'm not even sure if Venus exists or not.
Oh, that's right.
As a crazy flat earther, I know. Like, believe me. I'm just like, really? I believe this. But I think I spent I had an Airbnb in Chicago. I was renting out my apartment on Airbnb, and that's why I had so much time to research all this crazy stuff. And so I did like 2 straight months delving into the flat earth theory, and I still haven't sorted out like how I must deal with thinking about the planets. I think I kind of just like lost steam, like about many details about like, okay, so if I believe flat Earth, what must I not believe now? But yeah, I did way too much research about the moon landing being fate and all that kind of stuff, like Project High Jump, where America and Russia are sending off like nuclear missiles to straight up after Robert Byrd got back from his trip to Antarctica. And they were trying to find how high the dome goes and stuff. And I'm like, oh my.
All right.
Okay. So anyway.
We're going down the rabbit hole a little too much. Unless it actually.
My opinion on that.
I have so many people bring up flat Earth, but unless like it actually has to do with ME, that's just a whole nother topic to throw in.
I understand.
And you can have a whole other show on that.
Okay. I just might do that.
Guys, I'm going to invite some other people in here in a minute. And if these are people who've been hanging out in the chat with some questions. So if you guys are ready, come on in. I seem to be having problems with my display here. So I'm going to probably drop out for a sec while they drop in. It'll keep recording. Just keep going with the show, and I'll be right back after they come in. In the meantime, let's talk about some other things. I've been noticing. Right. I'm sorry, go ahead. What?
Oh, I said, all right.
I've been noticing a lot of people complaining about tinnitus and ringing of the ears. And people ask me to bring that up. My personal belief is I've dealt with a lot of tinnitus in my practice. A lot of times it's an upper subluxation where it kind of compresses the cranial nerves, and you can have tinnitus for all kinds of different reasons. The nerve itself can get pinched, the eardrum can be irritated, the hairs can be damaged, you have hearing loss, all kinds of different stuff. But if you could rule out a physiological problem, is it that maybe the frequency of the planet's getting higher? Like, why are all these people having a problem?
I was thinking about that. Just yesterday, I watched a video, and there was a theory that there's a lot more cosmic radiation coming in to our solar system because the sun is at like a solar minimum, and that actually helps keep out the cosmic radiation when the sun is more active. And they were saying that this cosmic radiation is somehow affecting us, and I thought that was interesting. But
cool. What I've researched about tinnitus it has to do with Jesus, believe it or not. I researched tinnitus because I saw that so many people were getting that were also Mandela Effect experiencers. And oddly enough, I came across a whole forum of people talking about having supernatural experiences and having tinnitus as some of the symptoms, like when they have spirit visitations or whatever. And I don't mean to be creepy, like saying that, but that's a legitimate sort of phenomenon. It's like a way that you can pick up other entities. And, you know, I never used to believe this stuff, guys. I know this sounds crazy, but when people have that stuff going on, if they pray to Jesus, it will go away. The tinnitus will go away. And all you have to do is look that up. People praying to Jesus, making their tinnitus go away.
Well, I don't mind, you know, again, I've got lots of Christians that listen to the show, and I believe that, you know, who am I to question praying? If it works for you.
Right.
And so I'm not here to, and it's good to have a lot of people saying they wish I would put someone Christian on. So there you go. You can, you can be the voice. You can be the voice of that. And I hope that I want people to feel welcome, because here's one of the things about this channel is I want to have all views. So, you know, in a few weeks, I'm going to have someone that's total science that's coming on, and I want a Christian view and a Judas view. So
right on. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I've noticed a little bit of that having ear ringing at random times, but I'm not sure what it is about. It is a little strange though.
All right. If you guys want to come in here, there should be a link I'll put up in a sec. I'm having major computer issues. I'm going to have to drop during this chat and come back out. Some reason this chat is not working. But I want you two to stay on. While I'm away, please discuss synchronicity. And I will be back and add people in. I've never had so many problems with live stream before, so we must have a lot of people on here. It's not even letting me put a live camera up. So I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
You guys continue doing what you're doing.
Cool. Daniel, do you have any synchronicity? Wait, we're both wearing black. That's a synchronicity.
Yeah. Actually, it's in I have experienced a lot of that the past 2 years with my significant other. In the manner that we got together and everything, it's really weird. It's kind of freaked us both out a little bit, you know, just because, you know, it's what are the odds of, you know, it's just little things, but they happen all the time, and it's just
like what?
Well, I don't know how to explain it really, like kind of like it's kind of like it's a small world effect, but different. For example, like if I haven't got a message from them recently, you know, I just turn on my phone and get on Facebook, and then they're typing. You know, and it's like, you know, it's the timing of everything really is just.
Or you think of a person and they'll call you a second later or something.
Yeah, it's just the timing of things have been weird recently.
Yeah, I find with the synchronicities, either like some people will have them like crazy. Like one person I'm talking to now has told me about all their, like they have so many synchronicitous experiences like throughout the day, and or they see like numbers, they see 1111 or 911 popping up, and I don't ever experience that, but apparently enough people go through this, or this person even said they saw, like they kept seeing 11s on license plates, and that made me think of like gang stalking stuff. And okay, I'm trying not to be creepy and negative. Okay, Anyway, so I don't actually have this kind of experience where I'm seeing like numbers everywhere that seem to match up. But one like extremely weird and disturbing synchronicity I had was when I was just finding out about the Mandela Effect geography changes thanks to Nobleness D and Lone Eagle C11 something 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 58. And their channels are so awesome, by the way. But I was looking at how Australia has changed because I used to live there, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was just completely moved. It just moved up a few hundred miles. And I was looking at this, and I was just freaking out. I mean, I was legitimately really scared. And then someone who I wasn't even like close friends with, like, they just had my number. They texted me right at that moment that I'm looking at Australia to see that it changed. They said, what's that Australian movie you talk about? You told me about again? They texted that to me just as I'm looking at Australia changing, and I'm like, oh! I had to throw the phone down. I was like, this is too weird. I couldn't even like respond to them. I was just like, ah. But that's really one of the only things that's happened. I don't even know if it was really worth bringing up, but I will say I've heard from two people in particular that have near constant synchronicities happening to them. So I don't know why some people get them and some people don't.
Yeah, today, for example, like I noticed that 11/11 thing, and
Really?
just before I was getting ready to come on the show, I I got this. It's like to keep drinks cold, right? And I remembered seeing a Mandela Effect video, and I'll ask you guys that the dash from the Coca-Cola was gone. And I got this out of the fridge today.
And it's back again. Hooray! I hate the Mandela flip-flopping. Don't you think that's weird? So you think that's cruel that the Mandela Effect can just flip-flop at will, seemingly? I hate that. I don't know. I'm trying to think
I haven't looked at this, I haven't used this thing for a long time, and I just saw that, so I was like,
huh. You're like,
I could have swore there wasn't a dash anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.